And as youth spend more of their time on Facebook, email, and text messages, there are more opportunities to bully each other while hiding it from teachers and parents. And in way too many communities across this country, bullying is still an accepted norm. More adults may be stepping in to stop it, and more young leaders have stepped up. These actions are important, and they can make powerful and lasting impressions.
Have you ever been bullied, or have you ever been a bystander before?
I have been bullied before.
How did you deal with it?
I just told my parents and told me to go stick up for myself, but I couldn't because I was a little kid.
How did it work out for you?
I ended up doing what they said. I told the bully I was going to tell the teacher on them.
Have you ever been bullied, or have you ever been a bystander before?
Yes.
How did you deal with it?
I told my teacher, Mr. Kopsak, and I stood up to the bully.
How did that work out with you?
After a few weeks, they just stopped bullying me.
Have you ever been bullied, or have you ever been a bystander?
I've been a bystander.
How did you deal with it?
I went and told a teacher, and I was really scared every time I would get hurt.
Who did you tell?
A teacher and my parents.
Have you ever been bullied, or have you ever been a bystander?
Both.
How did you deal with it?
I went to an adult, but it still did not work, so I transferred schools. And for bystander, I went to an adult, and eventually it has stopped.
Have you ever been a bully, or have you ever been a bystander before?
Yeah.
How did you deal with it?
I told my mommy.
How did that work out for you?
Well, my mom went to the school and they suspended them off the bus.
As a principal, how do you detect bullying at Geneva Middle School? How do you solve it?
We have a number of different ways to detect bullying in the middle school. A lot of times we'll get phone calls from parents. We also try to make it so that we make ourselves very accessible for students to come talk to us about things. It also helps, we have a staff here that's very visible. We try to get into the hallways, in between classes, listen to conversations when we can, and we try to take a proactive approach to making sure that we have a complete understanding of all the situations and issues that might arise in the school. As far as students making reports, we utilize a reporting system where students can come in, write reports, and we take every bullying issue with a one-to-one action. We try to attach some sort of action to every type of bullying situation that we have, whether it be a mediation, peer-to-peer counseling, or discipline that might take place if it's a continual problem.
Do you think some of the recent school shootings could have been prevented if bullying would have been taken a little more seriously? Explain.
Bullying being taken seriously, I think that across the country we take it more seriously than it's been taken traditionally. As far as educators, we have to make sure that we identify warning signs and talk to kids who we believe may have, emotional problems or things along those lines, or deal with others that may be putting them down. As far as the school shootings themselves, it's hard to determine what the contributing factors were to those situations, but identifying them case by case and making sure you identify problems before they become an even bigger problem is something that's a best practice.
What do you think the national U.S. government could do to prevent bullying?
Unfortunately, in public schools, we are constantly facing budget restrictions and things like that. This year in our middle school, we don't have a guidance counselor, but we do have a counselor that comes in from a local agency to help us out. Funding from the government for programs for bullying and for counselors in schools and for people that they can generally go talk to outside of just going to the principal or assistant principal would be a beneficial practice, making those funds available for student services within schools. Also it would be good to have, more of a focus shifted towards having students have the ability to have someone within a building to go talk to, whether it be from an outside agency, someone employed by the school district, or someone that can just come in and be there for the students to talk when they need to. Unfortunately, here at the middle school, we can only deal with what we have, and we utilize our resources as best we can, and we seem to do a pretty good job with it.
Did you ever think of using the texting system for bullying in the school?
What we have thought about is, via our school website, we have thought about using an anonymous tip line where a student could log on online, write a report, and it would come to an administrator in the building. As far as the texting system, that's again another incurred cost that we would have to look at, but specifically we have looked at utilizing a system. In the district that I used to work at, we did have an anonymous tip line. Students can go on there anytime, write down a concern. It would be seen by the administrators immediately, and then they can start dealing with it from there. But I do think systems like that are effective because it eliminates the idea of having to work up the courage to go talk to someone about it. You can just do it through the security of your computer.
Where every single child, no matter where he or she lives or who they are, gets that same protection and support. Thank you for what you do.